So I'm Nick Niehaus. I'm the co-founder and the head instructor of Business Video School, and I've been working within the real estate industry for about 6.5 years, working in the marketing industry for about 15 or so, and really specialize in helping real estate agents learn how to use video in their business. Well, so I love working and coaching with real estate agents because as much as I love teaching, I teach lots of people at the same time, and it's very hard to sort of dig into their specific problems. So within coaching, it allows me to figure out, some of my favorite things like understanding who their ideal customer is, what their goals are for their business, which can range substantially from I'm trying to develop a nice lifestyle to I'm trying to grow a massively successful company and a legacy. And so coaching allows me to really dig into the specifics and help people clarify the path that they want to follow, to get that sense of knowing that I'm heading in the right direction and that if I do these things, I'm going to accomplish my goals and I'm going to get the outcomes that I'm looking for. And that's always really rewarding to see that happen when I get a chance to work with somebody. So with Growth CEO, I think the cool thing about that experience is one of the challenges with coaching is a lot of times you work just one-on-one with one coach for a long period. And that person, they have certain areas of expertise, certain things they can recommend. And they generally have a lot of areas where they're maybe not quite experts, but they can still give you some advice. And then a whole bunch of areas where they probably don't know hardly anything. So here, what's really cool is as a coach, I get to work with people on the part of the experience where they need help, right? So in my case, I focus on video, I focus on marketing. So I can give people some really deep, specific insights on how they should be using video and video in their business as well as in their marketing. And then there's other areas where I don't know what I'm talking about or not an expert at all. And so it's really cool that through this platform and through the way this program works, agents and other business owners are able to work with the expert at the time they need them. And so once they've moved on, once they've mastered the basics of video, or they have their marketing plan in place and they start to need help with something else like scaling or working with employees or whatever it might be, there is somebody else there that can step in and work directly with them on those topics. And I think that results in a better, more holistic coaching experience. When it comes to results, I like to focus on incremental progress. And I think that's true in a lot of areas of business, but when it comes to video, it's very, very important. I think a lot of people try to accomplish too much too fast. And what that eventually results in is ultimately just more procrastination. So for instance, they might go out and buy a bunch of equipment that they don't need yet. And then they use the excuse of needing to learn how to use that equipment to delay making any videos at all. And so whenever I'm working with somebody, a lot of times that's what I want to sort of really dial in on is what's the next step? What is it that they need to do? That's something small, it's simple, it's straightforward. They're not going to get bogged down in the details, but it's going to continue to move them towards their eventual goal. And I think that the more we can start to break things down in our business that way and focus more on, hey, can I develop a habit or a system where I can make this incremental progress over time? If you measure that person against somebody who's trying to make these giant leaps all at once, usually a year later, the person making incremental progress has made, significant advances. And a lot of times the other person still hasn't started, right? So I think that that's something I really try to focus on is, let's create a plan and then let's work on just those action items, right? In fact, a lot of times I'll encourage people to almost put their goals aside once they have their individual action steps, because it's more important to focus on those steps and make those incremental improvements than it is to continue to obsess over the goal. And then 6 months later, a year later, they look up, they go back and they check on what they were supposed to have accomplished. And a lot of times they've exceeded it by that point in time. So that's what I like to focus on when I'm working with somebody. If you're considering getting signed up and you're kind of dragging your feet a little bit, I think you have to ask yourself why. You got to really dig into, what's holding you back. And is it fear? Is it apprehension? Is it uncertainty? Is it just not having a clear sense of what you're going to accomplish? And if that's the case, then you need to dive in, right? I think that if there's significant reasons, my health is not there, I really just can't afford this. I mean, there are legitimate reasons to delay doing something, but a lot of times we actually come up with excuses and we sort of procrastinate based on things that aren't quite true because we're just scared. We're just intimidated. We're just a little bit overwhelmed in that moment. And when it comes to coaching in particular, I mean, the first thing you're going to get within just the first few weeks is you're going to start to get that clarity, right? You're going to work with people that are going to help you start to define where it is you're trying to go and what are those steps that are going to be necessary to get there. And you can't get that until you take the first step. So I think that's what's really important to think about when you're first getting started is if you feel apprehensive at all, your job is just to take that first step. Then you've got this entire team of people that are going to help you with every single step from that point forward. And so if you can take the first step, the rest is going to happen. So get over that and get started. So I'm Nick Niehaus with Business Video School. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and I highly recommend Growth CEO. If you get an opportunity to get involved, you should absolutely take it.